the same content. Why can some people own the room in 3 sentences while you talk for 3 minutes and lose everyone? Here's the mistake most people don't even realize they're making. They're desperate to be understood, so they fall straight into a psychological trap: over-explaining. At a subconscious level, explaining feels like defending, and the moment you start defending, you give away your status. The more you explain, the more influence you quietly lose. The 1% who truly control outcomes gave up the need to explain a long time ago. If you want instant authority in negotiations, meetings, or high-stakes conversations, this video will reset the way you think about communication at a fundamental level. First, you need to understand one core concept: the signal-to-noise ratio in communication. Watch high-level operators, and you'll notice something counterintuitive. They are incredibly stingy with their words. In an age of information overload, filler is essentially a tax on attention. Average people tend to default to information dumping, trying to drown others in detail, only to trigger their brain's cognitive overload protection. But top-tier communicators speak like they're firing a laser, ultra-focused, high energy, and built for maximum impact. This comes down to one psychological principle: cognitive fluency. The human brain is evolved to conserve energy. It instinctively rejects low-density, unorganized noise. If you don't hit the core value in the first 3 sentences, their pupils will dilate, a physical sign that they've checked out. So, rule number 1, switch your communication protocol from inkjet printing to precision cutting. Before you open your mouth, you must deliberately remove filler words like "I feel" or "maybe," the words that dilute your authority. Keep only the objective facts and the hard logic, the things that nail your point into their brain. Next, let's break down how powerful logic is structured. You've probably heard of the elevator pitch, but it's not about talking fast. It's about how you get your point across. Most people communicate inductively. They set the stage, describe the process, and only then, often too late, do they timidly drop the conclusion. This storytelling mode is fine for casual small talk, but in high-stakes environments, it's a suicide mission. People who actually control outcomes use the pyramid principle to make their thinking easier to follow, leading with the conclusion, then moving top down. Think of it like modern headline logic. The big story always hits first. You have to force yourself into a habit that feels unnatural. Drop the most important conclusion within the first 5 seconds. The moment you drop that anchor, attention locks in. Only then do you use 3 supporting pillars to build real weight behind your idea. Notice the difference in energy between these 2 ways of speaking. An average person says, "Because the market is volatile and competitors are cutting prices, our costs are spiking. So I think we might need to rethink our strategy." To the listener, this doesn't sound strategic. It sounds defensive. But someone in control says, "I recommend we restructure our pricing immediately," based on 3 irreversible market signals. 1, acquisition costs have hit a tipping point. 2, competitors are entering suicidal expansion. 3, the window for this market closes in 90 days. The first is trying to be understood. The second is setting direction. This level of structure creates instant credibility. It signals that this person has the mental capacity to lead. But logic alone isn't enough. It just makes you sound like a cold AI. If you want your ideas to truly land and shape decisions, you need to master one powerful skill: visual language. The human brain is far more visually driven than we realize. A massive portion of the brain's processing power is devoted to vision. Neuroscience shows that when you hear abstract words like effort or efficiency, they trigger only minimal neural activation. But when you hear vivid, descriptive language, multiple brain regions, responsible for sight, touch, and even movement, light up at once. This is what makes vivid language so powerful. It's why leaders who only shout slogans never actually move people. But the one who says, "We need to squeeze every ounce of effort from each action," like wringing water from a soaked towel, that person becomes a leader. Real persuasion isn't about forcing ideas onto people. It's about planting an image they can't ignore. You want them to see the conclusion for themselves. Don't say, "This is a serious problem." Say, "This is a time bomb buried under your floorboards." And when it goes off, it won't just shake the house. It will rip your world apart. Don't say, "We need deep cooperation." Say, "In this brutal market, you need someone you can trust to guard your blind side." Stop hiding behind weak adjectives. Start using concrete nouns. Use verbs that carry force. Your language evolves from mere vibrations in the air into a weapon, one that can split open any psychological defense. And finally, the most counterintuitive skill of all, silence. Most people make a fatal mistake. They think speed equals eloquence. But in real-world power dynamics, the faster you speak, the lower your status. The faster you speak, the more you show your hand. It sounds like a need for approval. Those in control always dictate the rhythm of the room. Watch the masters. After dropping a heavy point, they create a pause that feels suffocating. That silence isn't a lack of words. It's a deliberate silence that builds pressure. It's like throwing a stone into still water. You have to let the ripples travel. The pause leaves their mind alone with your words. They begin to wait for what you'll do next. Avoiding silence often means you're still trying to protect yourself. Land your point. Hold their gaze. Say nothing. Count to 3. Those 3 seconds can outweigh 10 minutes of talking. It shifts the balance of the conversation. Your presence starts to fill the room. That is true presence. At its core, communication isn't about techniques. It's a contest of force. Why do some people sound flawless, yet nothing moves? Because deep down, they're still asking for approval. The rare ones speak differently. Their words don't chase. They set direction. They don't argue. They simply describe a reality you can't ignore. Everything changes when you stop trying to be liked. Stop asking how you sound. Ask what you're changing. In this noisy world, no one will work to understand you. Your language is your exoskeleton. It is your only legal weapon in a civilized society. Don't let your talent or your ambition be cut from the game, simply because your words carry no weight. That's all for today. I'll see you in the next one.